Good evening. It is 6:30 PM on April 23rd, 2025. Call this meeting of the Village of Homer Planning Board to order. The first item on the agenda is under old business is the application for Danielle Marie Lewis and Patrick W. Race, property location of 12 Franklin Street, tax map number 66.65-01-40.000. Zoning is R2. On the agenda is B2, but
Yes, apology.
R2. Purposes for approval for a home occupation. Code reference is section 228-12C2. And we did have a presentation from Mr. Race, even though we had some discussions back in February, and at his request, we have postponed it until this month to have him revise his business plan. Mr. Race, would you come forward and explain your revisions and what you were doing?
So yeah, I revised a little bit of the parking and I revised my hours. Just to kind of cut back on the open time. And that would help minimize traffic on my street.
Is that reflected in your application here someplace?
Yeah, within my business model.
Yeah, there's an update to that.
The update?
It's in there.
Yeah. And other than that, that was the only thing that I changed really. I think I got it somewhere around like 16 hours for the week.
Thursday, Friday, 5 to 7 PM. Saturday, 7 AM to 1 PM. Sunday, 7 AM to noon.
Right.
Parking. First two spaces in the residential driveway. Board members have any questions? For Mr. Race?
Then I note that the county planning recommended approval, provided that if a sign is going to be used, it has to be in conformance with the Village of Homer Code, section 228-40, home occupation. That was our only condition.
Okay,
You familiar with those regulations, right?
I believe it was 2 square feet. And I'm willing to abide by that, just a small political type sign.
we have the one condition, with discussion, is anything? I ask. You want to,
Well, I think one of the things we were debating last time was the retail nature of home business. This is not, well, we allow barber shops, for example. I mean, this, I guess the service is produced right there. This is a service too, but it's also selling goods. And I really have no problem with having home business. I'm concerned a little bit about, from the discussion we had last time, about setting a precedent for having a retail store in two. Should we? Should we be concerned?
well. Kevin and I looked at, I know Kevin looked at the code and I had mentioned that our code, and I don't have the section handy right now, but said that customary home occupation The only thing it was restricted to selling what was produced on premises. And that would negate selling spinning rods, reels, and things like that. The bait that you grow, that type of thing. Or if you made pottery and sold it on premises, you can do that. But if you were buying goods made, let's say pottery from a supplier in some other area and then reselling it, that's prohibited in our code. Kevin said it isn't, and I went back and looked, and in one place it is not prohibited, and in another place it is prohibited. So I went then to the proposed code, which hasn't been adopted yet, and only goods produced in the home are allowed to be sold.
So you will be selling bait, not fish, I mean, but lures and things like that.
Correct.
Hooks.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I personally don't see a real problem. And yeah, bottom line, not a real problem, other than a legal problem that it sets a precedent that somebody could say, well, you let somebody else open a retail store in an R2. And, what we say then?
So what you said was that in one section it is allowed, in another section it's not, and in our proposal,
It is not.
it is not, but that's not in effect.
No, it's, and I don't have, I was late getting out today. I don't have the book, the code section, but I did. I don't know if you remember it, Kevin, which one under the two sets of definitions in there.
That's correct, Don, and they contradict each other.
Yeah.
And I'd be careful to try to make a decision based on local law that hasn't been adopted.
Usually too, if you have a conflict in your code, it's construed in the favor of the applicant because
Right.
of land use, so you have a
Yeah.
conflict.
If you describe these conflict, I mean, without having the book in front of us now.
As Don stated, Mike, one area claims that it needed to be produced on premises, and the other did not. So there's two sections of the existing code that contradict each other.
When it says it doesn't specify that it has to be produced, so you can have a home office, what does it say more?
It just with regards to items produced or items sold.
Okay, wait a minute, I hear it. 228.40. Like,
Which one is this?
that's the one that says it doesn't address only in the home. But then you turn
Home
back a
occupation.
couple,
Right.
then you go back a couple of pages. And under this is under definitions, I believe, right? In the code.
Probably, yes, probably.
Okay, now you go back a couple more sheets in there, and I believe it says, when it actually gets to the zone itself,
Mhm.
it does say, only items produced on site.
So on the definition of home occupation is an occupation or profession which is carried on in the dwelling, carried on by members of the family, clearly incidental and secondary to the use of the dwelling for residential purposes and carried on within a maximum of 30%. Yes, that's a definition of home occupancy.
Right.
That is, I would not rely on that as a zoning regulation. Home occupation on the zoning kind of find the part where it says, provided the following conditions are met and a permit is issued. There can be no external evidence of such an operation except for a small sign. Not more than 30%. We know that the occupation must be clearly incidental to the use of the property. We know that. The use of the dwelling must not change the character of the dwelling. Parking is not permitted between the house and the street line. There shall be no use of show windows. There shall be no exterior storage. Any home occupation which may create objectionable noise, fumes, and all that. No article shall be sold or offered for sale or rent, except such as may be produced on the premises. And among the uses that shall not be interpreted as customary home occupations are the following: an animal hospital. I'm sorry, I gotta read that over again. Among the uses that shall not be interpreted as customary home occupations are the following. Animal hospitals, kennels, which animals are raised for sale, commercial stables, funeral homes, restaurants, and vehicle repair and or sale. Can you explain that for us, that last one for me? How do you read that? Among the use that shall not be interpreted as customary. That means that these things would be
You can't do
That
excluded.
means that those aren't, like,
You couldn't have those.
you can't have.
Can't have,
Okay. I thought you'd frequently see these kinds of things, funeral homes and animals and kennels and stuff. But anyway, so it would be in violation of item I, no article shall be sold or offered for sale or rent except such as may be produced on the premises. I think of it, of these sales incidental to the business of, selling bait that is produced on the premises. But it's still, it is to some considerable extent a retail business. And I don't see these in conflict, these kept at all. The first one is just a definition of what a home occupation is, and it's not the place to specify any of these things. But the zoning code, on this code specifically does not allow retail sales.
It's the board's wish. Make a motion?
I would like to look for a way that it doesn't become a precedent. So. I guess the thing is to me. An incidental nature of the retail, what percentage of sales would be this kind of retail reselling bait that you bought
I mean, I
versus?
can't exactly put a number on it, but I would say like 20%. I mean, most of it's gonna be bait, live bait, that's gonna be the nature of the business. And I mean, I can't produce hooks. There are some things I can produce on site, but there are certain objects that I can't manufacture myself.
How does a fisherman plan around getting live bait in the hours that you have, the limited hours you have?
Most fishermen take care of their bait, so I mean, it'll live a week at a time. So I mean, if they put it in the fridge or, a bucket. Most general fishermen know how to take care of that stuff.
This doesn't produce odors?
No,
I think that would be, if we want to go ahead with it, it would be the incidental aspect of somebody has a home business and sells some gift cards or some greeting cards or something. It's not a greeting card. I may not say I was in my graphic design business, it's all produced. When I did it, when it was a home office. Let's say I never did sell anything, but it would be like if I sold some, when people came in, which I didn't have many people coming in, it would be gift cards, greeting cards. Like a fraction of the business. It's really, it doesn't alter the goal of the zoning law. I don't think the intent of the zoning law is not altered very much by having us 20% used for reselling some products. It's my take on it. I don't know if the motion should. The motion should spell that out.
I don't think, just to jump back, I don't know if we did a secret move.
According to Kevin, I was asking him again, he wasn't here, he's saying it's a type 2 action, it doesn't need seeker.
correct.
Okay,
And I'll note that the county planning resolution indicates that there's not a seeker required, they just want to make sure that if it is granted, that it meets that sign requirement.
then,
So. There are home businesses in the village, correct? So let's say I know that there's like a massage place on the Clinton Ave.
Mhm.
Has anybody been in there?
No,
cause I'm wondering if they sell
Yeah. that's-
other
That
items
would be like that.
in there. Like, I know a lot of places like that will sell
Essential oil.
essential oils or.
My question also was like a greenhouse or I think there's one by the high school that sells plants. So I know that like they grow them there, but they're purchasing seeds or, collecting other products that they're selling on their property.
So I understand we don't wanna set a precedent.
So, let me throw out a motion and see how it flies. So, I move that we approve this, application to, with the proviso that, most of the business entails raising, bait for fishermen. And, less than 30% of the business is, to resell tackle for fishermen.
And you want to add
I would
also
support
the condition of meet the sign.
Oh,
The findings of or the recommendations of county planning.
yeah, yes, it has to meet the recommendations of the county planning.
Okay, we have a motion. And Mike and
I'll second the motion.
Jessica.
I guess before I say, I just want to ask, so how do we police that? Like you just don't.
Kevin, I mean, if some people complain that this. That it's
Okay.
become a retail business or something like that, then
That's all I just wanted to know. I'm
you'll
not,
hear from Kevin, yes. I'm not going there.
I'm not going there. Yes, no, sorry.
That's all right. It's not for everybody.
No, I'll go there for some bait, but I'm not going there to monitor whether.
Oh, no, I'm not fishing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion made and seconded. All in favor of the motion? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? Ash was absent.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
I'll send my daughter and son.
Fishing Derby at Turkey Park, June 7th.
Hey, good luck.
Take care. Set up a meeting with you. Yes, ma'am. Yep. Yep. Cool. Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Yep.
Okay. Next item is. Applicant is Jana Compagni, property located at 6 Northwest Street. Tax map number is 66.72-02 16.000, and that is a B2 zone. And request for a change of use from commercial to mercantile with reference code section 228-14B1.
And that should be changing from business to mercantile. It's all commercial,
Okay, business to mercantile.
business to mercantile.
Kevin, I can't find the word mercantile in our code.
It's an occupancy classification in the building codes. And when we have a change of occupancy or change of use, it would trigger a site plan.
Yeah, but man,
Okay. This is continuation from a month ago. And I believe the applicant is here this evening. Jenna, is that you?
Hi, that's me.
And would you like to make the presentation for what you plan to do?
So we are planning on opening a Italian Mexican grocery store. When I say grocery store, I'm using that word really generously. It's more gonna be like I guess I'll say bodega. It's not large, very small. We are looking to do 60% imported, 40% local. We like to have some local produce and meat there. We're not doing really anything different to the building. We're using it as is, other than, cleaning it up, painting it, putting some shelves up, things like that. We don't anticipate a huge traffic. I believe the space has 20 parking spots. We will definitely not be using all 20. I can't imagine we'd have more than 2 cars at a time. Again, it's, small scale. That's kind of it, just, that's it in a nutshell.
There was some. We do need you to provide a little more detail in the environmental assessment form that you submitted. There were some empty boxes checked in.
So yeah, so I'm not saying, I'm not the owner of the building, so I'm not sure what you sort of want there. Like I said, I'm using just the building as is. The inside, there's no kitchen, there's nothing like that.
These were some boilerplate questions that the short environmental assessment form asks. And if you've never done one of these before,
Because I do, Renee, the owner, did send sort of reinforcement for me that he may be able to answer some questions that I can't.
I work in the building upstairs,
Yeah,
this the unit,
They would get mad at me.
I do maintenance.
Kevin's thinking it's type two.
This is also a type 2 now.
okay, so we don't even.
No.
And the only thing I can tell you is on March 13th, 2025, the Portland County Planning Department sent this back. The staff has determined that this request is both technically adequate and has no state or county-wide impact. Therefore, this request is being returned to the Village of Homer without Portland County Planning Board review. So they did a technical review.
They did.
If the village feels that a full review by the Portland County Planning Board is necessary, please contact the county planning department as soon as possible. I think the one thing, Don, and I'm glad that the applicant is here, is that we've had these issues in the past where even if it's not subject to seeker, the board still may have some questions or want to have a brief presentation by the applicant so that after your presentation, the board has some questions, they can ask some questions. So I think that's the purpose of having the applicant here tonight.
I have a question. So the houses are pretty tight around there, around that building. And if you're having meat and produce, what's the dumpster? Where will that be and what will that look like?
So when I say meat and produce, again, very small scale, we are gonna have one very small chest freezer, like a quarter size, and one cooler. So very small. Again, we won't have a dumpster. We will have, it's private trash removal. We'll have one for trash, one for recycling. It's a very small scale, nothing huge. And the only meat we're gonna have is frozen. There won't be any fresh meat at this time.
Where those receptacles, where are they stored at the building? Are
So
they-
there will be, like I said, there'll be two, there'll be one chest freezer, and there'll be one
So like
cooler.
the trash cans, just
Oh,
like,
sorry, the trash.
I mean, if they're in the
They
back,
are-
there's a house right
In the
there.
back of the building, is that typically where Renee has hers?
The ones that are there currently, there are 4 in a row and they are at the edge of the parking lot. On the James Street,
James Street fix.
Okay,
and that's also, they're also private pickup. And
So
if
there,
it becomes, messy looking, I'll address it personally.
okay.
they're currently at the back of the building?
They're
Facing
at the
James.
edge of the parking lot, not up to the property line. They're on the blacktop, but at the edge of the grass, and then I think there's about 8 feet of grass before the actual property line. So it was the least bothersome place for foot traffic. And other tenants, but if that needs to be modified or addressed in another way, we can talk and,
So what else is in that building?
there's. Advantage commercial cleaning,
And do they use those, do those?
yeah,
they
that's
use
that's
those?
the main, yeah,
Okay,
I run the cleaning service, so we. Have a lot to deal with, but. So you call it, we call it, Ray Oliver is our private collector, Syracuse Haulers is not involved, and if I ever have an overflow, I have a dump permit and I just, haul it up. The 96 gallon, the toters on wheels, they're nothing.
like everybody else has in their front yard. In the village.
Right. But I never have to push them out to the street.
Yeah.
They never have to really get moved or knocked around or anything, so it's been convenient.
Anybody else, any questions? Ms. Magny? Okay, would someone like to make a motion for approval with,
There's no requirements in the county.
just. You know,
You're gonna have a sign, or what will your sign look like?
We will have a sign, we're gonna use the space that's already on the building, I believe it's about 2 feet, maybe, I'm just looking at it, so I don't know measurements very well in my brain, but. Like, it's already on the building, we're gonna use the
believe it's
space
2
that's
by
already
8.
in front of the building, 2 by
2
8,
by 8.
so
Next ledger's already mounted.
it won't be, or anything like
LED.
And
that. No, it won't be
yeah,
LED
we've-
or
we've
any
been-
flashing lights or anything like that.
Renee's always been very particular about
Yeah, no.
lighted signs, she's never once allowed a lighted sign.
Nothing flashy.
And Kevin, can I just ask you, is this having a grocery store, having this cleaning, having just those receptacles is enough? They are not required to have a dumpster or?
There's
something
no
else is-
requirement.
Okay,
No,
I just wanna make sure,
no,
like,
it's just a matter of,
seems like a lot of trash for. A lot. For 4 receptacles. Okay,
yeah, and whether it's village. Receptacles or private, it's just a matter of the owner keeping track.
okay.
I believe it's additional, you will have additional bids, right? 4 for the building and then you'll have 2.
We'll have one
Right.
recycle, one trash, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But likely we'll consolidate at some point,
Mhm.
I'm upstairs from there, so. I tend to be hands-on with any of the tenants that rent downstairs. I try to deal with issues before they cause a complaint.
Okay. I just-
They got me with the lids one time, with the lids being open, but.
I think the motion to approve.
That's a good one. That's a good one. One. Second. Favor? Aye.
Yeah, well.
About 10 times.
When are you gonna open?
Well, we'd like to be in this building by May 1st to start painting and shelving and all that, and hopefully it'll only take just a few weeks to get it all. So, hopefully a month.
He responds.
No live bait.
Yeah, no worms.
Good.
So got that other-
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Does anybody have anything else to?
Yeah, Brewster's gone.
Pardon me? Minutes, you know, okay, yeah, you do have draft minutes. From, sets of draft minutes, I'll take a chance, take a bit of time to look at those. Well, short and to the point.
Remember what I did last week? How am I supposed to?
Well,
Look, I think they are.
You just look.
So we can do the signs.
They're.
They didn't do the minutes.
It's all taken off.
They didn't do the minutes, no.
We've got 2 minutes, things to look at.
Yep.
If you got on one of those.
We have a motion to approve the minutes of,
Okay.
we can do them both at the same time. Right? Well, motion to approve the minutes from February 26th and March 26th.
Thank you. I will check, I'm sorry.
Second.
In favor?
I,
Carried. Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, may I address the board?
Oh, God.
If you
You
speak
can.
politely, Mr. Mayor, yes, you can. You can.
I would like to confirm the rest of the meeting dates for the year.
Well, in our meeting, our minutes, we approved the fourth Wednesday, as I recall, we just.
Yeah, the end of January meeting or the February meeting.
February meeting, we've put the fourth Wednesday of the month.
So the fourth Wednesday on the 26th of November is the day before Thanksgiving.
And we probably would not want to do that.
Right. So is there another day? Maybe the third Wednesday of that month?
Not a problem with. I don't think anybody here has a problem. Fourth Wednesday except for November.
And then the fourth Wednesday in December is December 24th.
Oh, we definitely want to come here for Christmas Eve, so
See,
that,
Christmas
because
will
the mayor and the trustees are going to provide a party for us.
I was gonna say, yeah. There you go.
Are we recording?
Yes.
Okay, I'll keep my comments to myself. How about this, the third week in December?
Okay, except for November and December, it'll be the third Wednesday.
Okay, so I have the 28th of May, the 25th of June, the 23rd of July, the 27th of August, the 24th of September, the 22nd of October, the third Wednesday in November, and I didn't write down that date,
The 19th.
the 19th, and the 17th of December, the 28th of January, and the 25th of February.
It's a date.
Okay, I'm posting the meeting dates for the village board. I would like to do the same thing for the planning board and the ZBA, so residents understand. Although it is the fourth Wednesday of the month, except for December and November, but sometimes it's just as easy for them to see it posted up. And I want to make sure that those that come before you are here. That's becoming a focus for me. It was a great turnout tonight. Should have had it last time and they would have been a month ahead. So I want to support you on that. Next question, does everybody have a copy of the comprehensive plan?
No,
Okay,
The old one,
I think.
our current one, our only one.
I have one.
Okay,
I don't have.
I think I may have one.
I had it on
Tanya had
CD.
printed out a bunch.
They usually email to start.
we can email to start, but I'd like hard copy as well, because sometimes it's easy. I'm a hard copy kind of guy.
Yeah.
And so it's just as easy for us to do both. Electrons are cheap. But I like the whiteout on my computer screen gets expensive. So I like hard copy as well.
Yeah.
That was a joke, Paula.
That's okay. I don't know what's happening. It's okay. It's been a long day. I was like, why not? I was like, why not? It took me a minute.
That was a blonde.
It's
It was
been a long
supposed to be a blonde
year.
joke.
Really long.
It was a blonde joke. Why did the blonde have to get a new computer? Because there's too much white out on her screen.
How can you
Okay.
tell if another blonde's been using the computer?
Again,
Who's writing on the
recording.
whiteout? I
I
know.
was gonna say, someone's gonna find.
I'm a blonde, so I think I'm good. So
Oh, gosh.
Adjournment?
We adjourned, yes.
No, you I didn't hear.
He might have some more.
No, that was it.
No, we adjourned before he.
You know, you've been recording, you did not adjourn. You did not make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, we had.
There's no motion to adjourn yet.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll say.
I'm in favor. Please stop recording.
Recording, you'll see, I asked